Hey guys, what's up, Zax here. Today we are here with the second episode of my F1 modded career mode on F1 2014 using some F1 2015 mods through Race Department. If you missed the first episode, it was a pretty crazy race, so I'll be sure to go and check that out on the channel. But overall, massive thank you to you guys. The support in the first episode was great. And yeah, you still got a chance to win a copy of F1 2015 when it launches over on that first episode, if you're still wondering. But here we are. The second race of the season. Obviously this is only a 7-race season, so the second round of the season is Bahrain this time, and I decided to make it a bit more challenging. Instead of doing qualifying and starting near the front, I decided to have the challenge of starting at the back of the grid. I thought, yeah, it's probably going to be a bit too easy this season if I just start at the front of the grid each time, so starting at the back should make it a bit more exciting. So you can see we've already gained a couple of positions off the start. The Ferrari obviously getting a pretty decent start there, as it does in real life. Now down into turn 1, braking quite late, nearly hitting into Massa there, but luckily managing to avoid them. But yeah, pretty sceptical first turn there, nearly hitting a couple of cars, but luckily I didn't. And managing to make it up into 9th place here. Now we've got Felipe Massa, the car in front. Looks like Kvyat's going quite slowly on the outside. Now looking down the inside here is a bit sceptical whether I should go for the move there, so I didn't really force the error, but I managed to make up to 7th place there and right behind my teammate Vettel here. I'm looking around the outside here. Vettel, it's not going to work out, is it? No, it's not. Not enough grip around the outside to make a move there. And Vettel, but down the inside, possibly make a move. Yes, well, we're down the inside, running side by side with Vettel. We're all over the place, we're side by side with Vettel. Who's going to be the first to back out? It looks like it's Vettel. We managed to make the move up into P6. A little bit of a lock up there, but we managed to get around the corner without crashing into the wall or anything, so that's good. Now the fight to try and get onto the back of Ricardo. You can see we've got +2 laps of fuel there, so we've got a bit of fast fuel mixture that we can use later on in this race, or we could use it now. But I decided to save it here as we've got a bit of a gap here which I think we can close down, and when we get near the Mercedes, that's when I'm going to be using that fast fuel mixture. And we're going to have a look down the inside of Ricardo. Yes, we are. That wasn't even really supposed to be a move. It was just supposed to be an avoidance of maybe a crash. So I somehow actually managed to get past Ricardo there and managed to get into 5th place before the end of the first lap of the race. And maybe even Alonso around this final corner, if we can get it done well, we can overtake him in the car that he didn't do very well in 2014. Looking to the inside and managing to make that move just before the start finish line. And what a first lap that was. 18th up to 4th from the first lap. That was a pretty hectic first lap, and I don't think there was really any crashes or anything, so overall it's a pretty clean first lap as well. Now second lap of the race, we've got Valtteri Bottas in front of us here. Are we going to be able to get past him? Well, we're maybe thinking about going past him here, but there's not really an opportunity to overtake there. Unless you're very, very brave, you can't really overtake them through that turn there. But we've got the slipstream here, and it gives us a really good run around the outside there and get past Bottas before the end of the straight. So a really good run around the outside of Bottas there and back into P3. Now, guess what 2 cars are in front of us? Yes, the Mercedes, and you can see there we put it into the rich fuel mixture because it is time. It's Afro time, as maybe Hamilton might say. But anyway, skipping ahead to lap number 4, we've slightly caught Hamilton here. You can see the gap's down to 0.8 of a second here. We're going purple through that first sector, so is this a good time to overtake Hamilton? Where I think it is. Probably not there, because that would have just ended up in a crash, but maybe the next turn, as I was saying earlier. Not really a place you can overtake, but we might have a chance, but we've lost a bit of time there to Hamilton. That's not looking too likely. A slight look up there, but we will have the DRS there. We were within the activation point there, and we will get that DRS down this back straight here. It's not too effective down this back straight, but it looks like it's going to be effective enough to get past Hamilton and into 2nd place on lap number 4. But Hamilton fights back. He tries to go back down the inside. I was all over the place on the curbing, but I managed to get back past Hamilton there, back into 2nd place, and now a 3.5 second gap to Rosberg in 1st place. So that's going to be a harder task to sort of get down that gap. But you can see lap number 6, we really haven't got that gap down by really anything at all. It's 3.3 there, so we've only gained a tenth and a bit of a second there. So really not that great on those last couple of laps here, but we are stopping on this lap here. Rosberg looks like he's going around for a couple more laps, and as we go into the pit lane there, put it into lean fuel mixture as always. We slightly got the gap down over the start finish line, but as I said, doesn't really matter, as this is sort of the main stage of the race now. We need to have a good outlap here on these new tyres, on the faster fuel mixture. This is when we need to get that time back to Rosberg and hopefully be getting past him on the maybe after the pit stops or maybe through the pit stops. It really depends, but there's not really anything As we go at the pit lane here, not really any traffic. Vettel's the car in front of us who hasn't stopped, and he's probably about 7 or 8 seconds in front of us here, so that's not really going to trouble us at all. As we skip ahead towards the end of the lap here, you can see we've actually closed up the gap to Vettel by quite a bit. I don't know what's gone wrong with Vettel on this lap, but he's been very, very slowly, and we nearly actually catch him by the end of the lap here, but we did have a great lap. You can see we've actually gained quite a bit of time on Hamilton. And what, nearly 1.5 seconds over Vettel over the start-finish line, and that's obviously because he was slowing down. But down through turn 1, we're very close to Rosberg. Yes, we've got the chance of the race win here in Bahrain. Obviously, we didn't manage to get the win in Australia, but this could be a great opportunity here to get the win in Bahrain and put ourselves maybe in a championship fight with the two Mercedes. That would be great. Hitting the bollard there wasn't intentional, but it doesn't really matter. It will just respawn the next lap through. And the gap to Rosberg is now 1 second. It was 3 before the pit stops, and now it's down to 1. So we've had a great outlap here, and trying to put the pressure on Rosberg to possibly get past him and maybe get that win, which we'd really, really like at this stage of the season. It would really help us out, give us a big boost. Now Rosberg won't be too easy to overtake because he's got that Mercedes power plant and the Mercedes car, so he's just ultra fast. But DRS, we might be able to get past him here. We put it into the standard fuel mixers. We don't really need to use too many revs as we're going in a straight line, and we've got DRS. But we go around the outside there of Rosberg. We're all over the curbs, and Rosberg look around the outside. Well, he's looking around the outside, but he doesn't manage to get that done, and we managed to maintain the lead there. But look at this, Rosberg not giving up. He goes back past me down the main straight, and is Hamilton going to get back past me? No, I'm not going to be that easy on them. I'm going to give the place to Rosberg, but not going to give the place to Hamilton. Not that I really had much of a choice in that. But anyway, Rosberg once again, we've got to overtake him. Where we're going to look? Well, we're going to look to the left initially, but to the inside now as we run up to the turn where Hamilton and Rosberg had so many great fights in real life. I try and make the same sort of move, but it didn't really pay off there as Rosberg maintains the lead of the race. So I didn't want to do anything silly, as this could be a great result even if it was second place here. Now looking to the inside here, that would have been a great move, but we couldn't quite get the car slowed down in time there. Now these are the next couple of turns where it's quite actually hard to overtake there. Well, it's not that easy unless you had a really good run. And this turn here, as I said earlier on in the video, pretty much impossible to overtake unless you have a really good run. I sort of thought about it there. You could sort of see in the way I was driving, I had a different line through there, but it didn't really work out. And then we go over the curbing there and get sort of half spun. And I was like, wow, that was so nearly a crash, but managed to stay right behind Hamilton here. But we're going to go quite late on the inside of here of Hamilton. Wow, that was a risky move, and a bit of an avoidance of an accident as well. It wasn't really intentionally supposed to be a move, but Hamilton was really slow at the end of the straight, not too sure why. But anyway, lap number 11 here, we got Rosberg right in front once again, and Hamilton is, I think, slightly getting caught by the cars behind, so not too sure what's happening here. But now to get Rosberg back in the way that he overtook me with the DRS down the main straight, and managing to take back the lead of the race here on lap number 12. Rosberg trying to look around the outside there, but that didn't really work out, but sort of misjudging where I was accelerating and braking through that first turn there. And Rosberg managed to get back down the inside here, but I just managed to get enough of a run through that first couple of turns there to manage to get back in front of Rosberg before we go into this next turn here, because I'm not scared to overtake on this track by the looks of it, so I wanted to make sure I was in front at that stage. Now, last lap of the race, Rosberg is right up behind me here. Ricciardo's managed to get past Hamilton, and I was just defending for my life here for Rosberg and making sure he doesn't get past on this last turn. So I was taking it quite slowly, quite steadily, and as we build up speed towards the start-finish line here, looks like we're going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix just over Nico Rosberg. That's about as close as it was in real life between Hamilton and Rosberg, so nice to see once again close racing in Bahrain, and we managed to go from last place on the grid to the win. Bahrain has always been a track I think I'm alright at, so I think that's really a good point about this track, so that's good for me. And that lap time, nearly half a second faster than Rosberg, so that's good for me. Ricciardo finished third, then Bottas, and look at that, Hamilton down in 5th place. That's kind of confusing. I'm not too sure what's happened to him. And you can see down the order, I'm not too sure what's happened to Vettel. I'm thinking he might have had to stop 2 times, because there's no way he lost about half a minute in that last stint. It just doesn't really make much sense. So that's weird. But anyway, driver standings. We managed to lead the championship now by 8 points over Hamilton. Rosberg in 3rd place. And a teammate there in 6th place. And looking down the order there, you see quite a lot of cars just haven't scored any points whatsoever. But there we are. We have won the Bahrain Grand Prix. A really good race. I really enjoyed that, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video as well. Remember to like the video if you did, and also leave your comments down below about what I can improve for this series and what you do like about it already. All that sort of stuff really does help me out, help improve the series and what I can do in the future to make it better for you guys. So yeah, thanks again for watching. It's been AlexZAfRo. Goodbye.